Welcome to the 99 Seconds Career Podcast. My name is Jürgen Schmid. I am career mentor and coach, consultant, teacher and speaker. Every other week, we'll bring up all kinds of career aspects in a way you have maybe never heard before, in 99 seconds or a bit more. Welcome back to the show. I'm glad you're here. I think we all have been in that situation and maybe will be in it again. No matter if you are looking for your first job, lost your job, or had any other kind of career break, or just want to change jobs, you scan open positions, and if you find one you think is suitable, this question pops up. Should I apply? Imagine this. You're scrolling through job ads after dinner. One role catches your eye. It's in your field, the salary band looks decent, location works, and as you read through the responsibilities, you think, yeah, I've basically done all of this. And then it happens. You hit the requirements section. 5 years of experience. You just have 3.5. Expert in X software. You'd call yourself immediate. Fluent in 3 languages, and you've got 2.5 on a good day. And in a matter of seconds, your brain goes from this could be perfect to no chance, they'd never pick me. You close the tab. Today, I want to talk about what actually happens in that moment. Not on the company side, not in HR systems, but inside the mind of a job seeker. Why do so many people not apply for roles they could probably do really well in? This episode is for you if you'd ever said to yourself, I'm probably not that kind of person they're looking for, and quietly walked away. Let's dive into the 99 seconds and find out what happens. Let's start with that little voice in your head. You've seen a job you could do and your brain instantly runs a comparison. Their wish list versus your reality. But here's the twist. Most people don't compare fairly. They don't weigh strengths against gaps. They zoom straight into the gaps. That's the impostor syndrome at work. Instead of thinking, I've done 80% of this and I learn fast, the inner voice says, you're missing 20%, they'll notice immediately. Instead of seeing your track record, your achievements, the times you've learned on the job, your voice insists you're not really qualified. If you apply, you'll be exposed. So you protect yourself the only way that feels safe in that moment, you don't apply. The irony, of course, is that employers often write job descriptions as a wish list, not a realistic minimum. But you don't experience a wish list. You experience a verdict. You see a list of reasons why you're not good enough, and your brain treats it as objective truth. Now, if I'd ask you, are you a perfectionist? You might say no. You don't color code your bookshelf, your desk is messy, you miss the occasional deadline. But in career decisions, perfectionism often shows up in a different way, as an obsession with being exactly, undeniably qualified before you allow yourself to try. Perfectionism in this context sounds like, I'll wait until I finish that certification, then I'll start applying. I don't want to waste their time if I'm not a perfect fit. Once I have a bit more experience, this kind of role will be realistic. On the surface, that sounds mature and sensible. It sounds like you're being reasonable. But underneath, there's a rule you quietly agree to without noticing. I'm only allowed to go for opportunities where the probability of rejection is very low. That rule keeps you safe and stuck. Because here's the truth. No interesting next step in your career comes with guaranteed acceptance. There's always a risk, but perfectionism keeps moving the target. As soon as you reach the level you thought you needed, your brain upgrades the requirement. Okay, now you've got that certification, but you're still missing experience in that industry. So you wait, you prepare more, you collect more proof, and the application never gets send. Let's talk about risk for a moment. Your brain is not actually designed to make you successful. It's designed to keep you safe. Safety, from your brain's perspective, means avoid pain. And in the job search, pain has a very clear name: rejection. Rejection activates many of the same neural circuits as physical pain. You feel it in your body. The "we regret to inform you" email may only be a few sentences, but your nervous system experiences it like a punch. So over time, your brain learns. It learns that applying to jobs can lead to pain. It starts to build shortcuts. If the chance of rejection is high, don't do it. Protect yourself. When you see a role that's a bit of a stretch, your brain rapidly runs the numbers in the background. Potential gain, maybe a better job. Potential loss, a hit to self-esteem. Another confirmation that you're not good enough. More evidence that the market doesn't want you. Most people unconsciously overestimate the pain and underestimate the upside. So they make the rational decision, it's not worth it. I probably wouldn't get it anyway. They call it realism. But it's not realism. It's a risk-averse brain avoiding emotional discomfort. There's another layer to this: your identity story. Every one of us walks around with a narrative about who we are professionally. I'm a safe pair of hands, but not a leader. I'm technical, not client-facing. I'm more of a support person than a front stage person. Those stories might have started from one or two earlier experiences. A boss telling you that you're not ready for more responsibility. A promotion you didn't get. A teacher who labeled you as not that ambitious. You file that away as "this is who I am." Later, when you see a job that clashes with your inner story, maybe a leadership role or a position with strategic responsibility, you just don't ask, "Can I do this?" You ask, "Is this me?" And if your story says, "Yes, I'm not that kind of person," your brain quietly rejects the role before the recruiter even has a chance to. You might not even notice it is a conscious decision. It feels more like a slight discomfort that makes you scroll on. Interesting, but not for me. The job doesn't fit the story, so the job doesn't even get an application. Let's add one more ingredient: your history. If you've had a rough time in the job market, countless applications, no responses, interviews that went nowhere, it doesn't just stay in the past. Your nervous system remembers it. The next time you see a role, your brain doesn't start from zero. It consults your internal database and says, "We've played this game before, we tried hard, we customized our CV, we wrote thoughtful cover letters, and what did we get? Silence." So when you think, "Should I apply?" the emotional answer that comes up is, "What's the point?" Not because you're lazy, not because you're unmotivated, but because your brain is trying to save you from repeating a pattern that hurt. This is especially strong for people who had long unemployment phases, who've been laid off, or who've tried to switch industries without success. Hope feels expensive. Applying feels like opening yourself to disappointment. And again, the safest option becomes not to apply. Let's do a little experiment together. Think back to the last job you did not apply for, even though part of you thought you'd actually be able to do it. Try to remember that moment. What was the exact sentence your inner voice used to talk you out of it? Was it about lack of a specific skill? Was it about not being their type of candidate? Was it about not wanting to waste time? Or was it something like, "People like me don't get roles like this"? If you can name that sentence, you've just found one of your internal rules. That rule is probably not written anywhere. No one officially gave it to you, but it's been guiding your behavior for years. I don't want to end this episode with a toxic "just apply anyway" pep talk. You already know that, and if it were that simple, you'd be doing it. Instead, I want to offer a small mental shift that changes how you experience applying. What if an application were not a test of your value, but an experiment, a data point, an attempt, when rejection is not proof that you're inadequate, but simply this one didn't match? The emotional stakes drop dramatically. Next time you read a job description, try this. First, list 3 reasons why you are a strong fit before you let yourself name any gap. Train your brain to look at what is present, not only what's missing. Instead of, they rejected me, try, they selected someone else. It sounds subtle, but one centers your supposed flaws, the other simply describes a choice they made with information you can't see. Many people set a private rule like, I only apply if I meet 90% of the criteria. What if you consciously lowered that to, say, 60 to 70% for roles that genuinely excite you? You are allowed to treat job descriptions as negotiable because they often are. When your identity narrative shows up, I'm not leadership material. I'm not that kind of person who, just add one word, yet. I'm not leadership material yet. That keeps the door open. In the end, applying for the role you're not sure you'll get is an act of emotional courage. Not because the application itself is technically difficult, but because you're choosing to expose yourself to uncertainty. You're saying, I'm willing to feel vulnerable for the chance of something better. That's not naive. That's not entitled. That's how every meaningful career transition starts. So the next time you spot a role that lights you up but scares you a bit, pay attention to the moment when your cursor hovers over the close button. Listen for the story that appears in your head. And just for once, experiment with not believing it automatically. Maybe you still decide not to apply, that's okay. But if you can make that decision consciously, rather than by default, you've already changed something fundamental in your career psychology. You moved away from, I'm not that kind of person who gets roles like this, to, I'm the kind of person who chooses deliberately which risks to take. And that shift, over time, changes everything. So, here's my invitation for you this week. Before the next episode, I want you to notice just one role that you quietly talk yourself out of. When that happens, don't judge it. Don't force yourself to apply on the spot. Just pause and write down the exact sentence your inner voice uses to stop you. That's it. Capture the sentence. If you feel brave, take it one step further. Ask yourself, what would I do if this sentence weren't true? Maybe you'd save the job ad. Maybe you'd send a quick, low-pressure message on LinkedIn. Maybe you'd actually hit apply. Because changing your career story doesn't start with a perfect new job. It starts with one different decision in one quiet moment when you would usually close the tab. And today might be that moment. And if you do any of that, I'd love to hear from you. Send me a short message about the role you nearly didn't apply for and what you decided in the end. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear in a future episode. Let's continue the conversation. If you like my approach towards career and professional development and want to get some more personalized guidance, please reach out. I am here to help. And please don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and share this episode with someone who could use a little extra career inspiration. Hope you enjoyed listening and you will come back again in 2 weeks. We'll then look at which role artificial intelligence plays during application and the recruiting phase. Curious? Be sure to tune in for our next episode. But for now, thank you for listening and thinking along. I wish you success for the path you're following or creating. My name is Jürgen Schmid, and until next time, be the difference, remain curious, and shine.